Let's shift gears then and put the spotlight on Escorts Kubota. Talk a little bit more about their quarterly performance. It was a muted Q1, but what's the outlook in terms of their revenue guidance as well as the synergies from their latest JV? Bharat Madan is the whole-time Director and CFO now joining us on the show. Welcome and thank you so much for taking time out. So clearly the Q1 domestic industry growth has been about 0.5%, and you've seen a degrowth of about 2%. So I just want to start off, Mr. Madan, by understanding what has led to this decline and which are the markets that have been under pressure. Is this going to continue or was a one-off?
Hi, good morning. So yes, I think as you rightly mentioned, the rural market has been under pressure for last few quarters, and this quarter was also almost a flat industry, 0.5% growth, which is in the industry numbers. So especially if you talk about our market, so we have actually been able to grow market share in our stronger markets. It's almost by about quarter percent or so. Especially the market in MP and Bihar, where we lost market share, and most of the issue was related to the financing and the liquidity availability, which actually hit the customers hard in this market, which led to some decline, and also the opportunity market, especially the Central Indian belt, where there was some decline. But I think July has been good, so overall we expect it's not a major decline. It's a 0.2% decline in the market share in first quarter, which we should be able to make up, in the balance of the year as we move forward.
Right. Bharat, also wanted to understand what the outlook is on the industry growth for the entire fiscal, and can we see you outperforming the industry benchmark or being in line?
See, if you generally see the trends, I think the factors today on the ground look favorable, which is positively inclined to the recovery happening on the rural side, whether it's a push from the government policies, initiatives, the MSP is going up, the rainfall which has been pretty good and above average, and even the sowing this year has been better than last year on the Kharif side. So I think all factors look favorable. So we expect, I think the recovery will start happening in the industry post-monsoon. So September and October look like a very good months, which will account for almost 25% of the sale of industry in these two festive months. So, but at this point in time, since the first few months have been almost flat, so we expect, I think it will be mid-single digit sort of growth with the industry may look, which means the industry has to go with double digit in the balance in the second half especially, to even deliver this sort of growth. So, but yes, it can be an upward revision too, I think depending on how the festive season goes. So maybe we'll have to relook at the guidance at that time, at the end of October.
Okay, now given that you've withdrawn setting up of the plant in Rajasthan, in Ghiloth, can you tell us what the reason is?
So it's essentially the water supply. This is a water scarce zone, and the industrial water supply was not something which the government was able to commit to us. So the consumption of water was only meant for the human consumption. So that was one of the reasons, since we are setting up a large factory now. So the idea was we should be able to get sufficient water supply. So that was the key reason actually for moving away from that zone. So we're looking at alternate option now. There's some good proposals which are there on the table. So let's see. I think the project is still on. So it's not that we've given up the project. So it's only maybe the timing wise, it may get slightly delayed by a few months.
Any other regions as well that you're looking at?
No, there are no other reason. I think it's just a location which we all liked, and we've been working on that location for more than a year. If it's not for water supply issue, I think we'd have gone ahead with the project.
The Tractor Manufacturers Association, Bharat, is in discussion with the government, as we understand, regarding the finalization date of its, TREM 5 norms. Currently, it is set for April 26th, as we understand. How is that expected to impact the industry as and when it's applicable, and to you as well as at Escorts?
See, as of now, the date stands at 1st April 2026. But obviously, as you mentioned, the Tractor Manufacturers Association is pushing the government to extend the date, because this will increase the cost for the farmers, and the servicing of the tractor also becomes extremely difficult. And we have seen it in the auto industry when the emission norm change happens. So there's an impact on the market and the demand side too, and the cost pressure also builds up on the customer. So let's hope if that happens. But by chance, if it doesn't happen, then obviously you may see some good pre-buying happening in the last quarter, which is what we can give a push to the industry in the later part of the year. And if for any reason it gets delayed to the extent, I think what the association is demanding, maybe then it will be a muted quarter. It may not be that strong growth in the last quarter of this year, you see. But definitely it will have an impact on the next year then. Because if you see pre-buying this year, then next year would have been a pressure on the industry. But as of now, I think looks like the thing should be okay. And the expectation is still the government may listen to the association and maybe give some concession on this.
But in terms of the one-to-one correlation which the tractor industry is enjoying, assuming that this year is a good rainfall year, monsoons are strong, do you think the effect would be immediate or it will come with a lag effect?
No, like I think there are two crop seasons in India. So obviously the monsoon effect will daily be visible in the next season. So it will be the weak sowing, which will happen. We should see a good, growth coming in. But generally the water reserve levels, I think, will go up, and we already seen the improvement has happened, especially in the southern and western zone. And those are the markets which are more dependent on rains for irrigation. So for them, I think the season will pick up, and we should see the next 2-3 seasons actually good. Even if the water, if the rainfall has an issue next year, which is not likely. I think looking at the condition, what we hear from the weather agencies, that next 3-4 years should have a good rainfall. So we expect the industry should continue to do well.
Okay. Prices have also started coming down in terms of raw material. Most of the auto companies are also indicating that, and it's visible in your numbers also. Now that commodity prices are decisively down in this quarter, could you be looking at good margin expansion?
No, so the first quarter we've seen the softness was there in the commodity side, but normally since we pass on the price increases with a lag of a quarter, so in the second quarter we're seeing some cost pressure, especially on the castings and rubber front. The tire prices have gone up because some compliance issue and the natural rubber price is going up. So that will have some impact, but since we've taken one price increase in last quarter itself to offset that, so cumulative basis, we still a soft running regime, so it's not major impact on the commodity side. If something comes up, then definitely we'll have to take a call. But otherwise, looks like the margins should be able to sustain at the level, I think, which we are in across all three businesses.
Right, okay, Bharat, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us today. That's the word coming in from Escorts Kubota.